As a lot of you probably know, Stormi is my Fursona.
No, he's not.
Okay, so he's actually a character.
Actually, he's not that either.
Then what is he then?
I don't know, but you need more apps up here. You don't even have Twitter. And when's the last time you ate? I need food!
And hi everyone, my name is Stormi the Folf, and today I'd like to talk about differentiating between Fursonas and characters/OCs. You see, Stormi is my character, my Fursona. Okay. Let's figure out who I am before the existential crisis kicks in. Hello darkness, my old friend. But wait, aren't a Fursona and a character basically the same thing? In a word, nope. But I do regularly see people using both the terms character and Fursona to describe, well, their character or Fursona. So, which is it? Is it both? First, let's compare the definition of a Fursona to a character. A Fursona is typically defined as one's persona, alter ego, or identity. Applied as an anthropomorphic animal, of course. Identity is the key word here. A character, however, is defined as a person in a story, novel, play, movie, or the personality of an individual or made-up being that an actor, writer, or an artist recreates. So, how do you know if your Fursona is actually a Fursona, or if your character is actually a character? Or if your Fursona is an original character and a Fursona? Let's not confuse ourselves. I've erroneously referred to myself as a character and a Fursona, and I've seen other furries do this as well. And I've been thinking about ways one can differentiate the difference between a Fursona and a character/OC. If you have an emotional connection with your character, it becomes a Fursona. If you no longer have an emotional connection with your Fursona, it reverts or becomes a character/OC. But how do you know if you do or you don't have an emotional connection with them? It really just depends on how you feel about the character or Fursona in question. Let's say, do you identify with your Fursona? Do you relate to them? Do you want a fursuit of them? Do you feel that they personally represent who you are? Or do they represent someone that you wish you could be in real life? Like, maybe they're super athletic, or they could shoot laser beams out their eyes. Or perhaps, in a perfect world where everything is just right, if you could become your Fursona/character forever, would you do it? Okay, maybe just for a day or two, but would you do it? If you answered no to most of those questions, they are more likely just a character. That being said, however, you could still become emotionally invested with characters and OCs. For example, let's say you start writing a story filled with characters that, as time passes, you become attached to. Maybe it's because those characters remind you of mythological gods you look up to, or perhaps a friend or a family member who passed away. Writing that story has helped you cope with difficult moments in your life, and those characters are more or less your children. Hopefully that didn't sound creepy. But you see where I'm getting at? Some people have characters they've passionately invested decades of their life into. You can also have characters you use for purposes of role-playing, even though they don't represent who you are in any way. But if you do somehow feel connected with them, they just might be your Fursonas. And while there's a line between Fursonas and characters, it's definitely a blurry one with plenty of room for opinion and debate. Totally subjective, at least in this point in time. And as time passes, you may find yourself becoming detached from a Fursona, but not necessarily to the point you just want to get rid of them, in which case they just become a character or OC. Nothing is necessarily set in stone. Also, take note that Fursona is a portmanteau of the word persona, which confusingly refers to a social role or a character played by an actor. This is one of the reasons that the differences between a Fursona and a character are highly debatable, in my opinion anyway. Again, it's important to note that the differences between a Fursona and a character are not set in stone. This is all 100% my personal opinion, so if you want to argue with me, leave it in the comments. Please lecture me. I love to argue and debate, as long as it's a healthy argument. I don't particularly fancy name-calling. And to help you better understand possible differences, I'll talk about some of my own Fursonas and characters. I'll begin with Orenji. Orenji is oblivious and often aware of his surroundings, much like how I get after a hard day at work. It's like when I work for several weeks on end, and then finally I take time off for myself, my brain just inverts itself and everything confuses me. And unlike Stormi, Orenji is a Sotoru who will heck you up. He is a warrior. I mean, He saved an entire planet from water ogres, and instead of getting diabetes from drinking orange cream soda nonstop, which is one of my favorite sodas personally, it fuels him and makes him stronger. Wouldn't it be cool if soda pop was actually good for you? I mean, it might be in some dimensions, but not this one. I wish I was strong and I could drink as much soda as I'd like, but this is the real world where all the tasty food is bad for you and all the bland food is good for you. All of this is why I see Orenji as a persona. He's so relatable, he's someone that I wish I could be, and he gets to break all the rules without destroying his body. And I think a lot of us wish we could do that, to be honest. The Unnamed Winged Jackal. This was an adopt I bought on a whim about a year ago because the color palette reminded me of what might happen if Stormi and my girlfriend's persona Treble were like mashed together because of the color schemes. Plus, the creature itself is just aesthetically pleasing. The wings, the horns, that sassy mohawk, pickable snoot, all of it. And while I do love all of its design features, I've yet to really give it a story, personality, or even a name, and as such, it's still currently a character, not a persona. Now, if y'all can think of a name or a personality to give this sassy beast, do let me know in the comments below. Deku the Drekibus. I'm gonna be honest, I only wanted a Dreki because they're so hecking adorable. This was actually a gift from Treble because she knows I like Deku from My Hero Academia quite a bit. And this is also a character because while its personality traits sort of resonate with me, I'm just not emotionally invested enough to call this being my persona yet. Also, if you don't have a Drekibus, totally get one. They're hecking awesome. I mean, an entire video on them that you can click up above. And finally, we have Stormbully, which is kind of like Stormi's alter ego or a parallel universe in the upside down dimension. Stormi. He has a red color palette and is basically the total opposite of me. Instead of protecting the potatoes, he steals them, peels them, and eats them. Which is something Stormi would never, ever, ever do. Let's not confuse myself. I am continuously developing Stormbully as a character because I just don't feel an emotional connection with him. Plus, he's more like an evil twin trope than anything else. He lives in the Upside Down, which thankfully isn't real because if it were, we would be in a lot of hecking... Oh dear.
You rang?
Okay, first off, you're not real. And secondly, stop eating my potatoes!
Why are you talking to yourself like that, Stormi? I'm literally the angry version of you. I know what you do when you're pissed, because I am you. You literally went to McDonald's yesterday to get some fried...
Get out of here! You don't know that!
You want to make something of it, Blue Boy?
Try me.
Okay, you're gonna eat that potato.
Nice try. No, I'm not. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. And after all I've said, if you still can't figure out if you own a persona or a character, please don't lose sleep over it. You can spend as much time as you need, and it's not the end of the world if you can't figure it out. Characters can later become personas and vice versa. Your character or persona is what you make of it. And to answer the burning question on whether Stormi is a persona or a character, well, I consider Stormi to be my human self, except he's a Folf with like 10 times as much confidence. He is the potato god, and in some dimensions, he can fly using his floppy ears. And I'll take that over getting on a plane. Hated it so much I made an entire video on it. So, yeah. He's my persona. Maybe someday I'll make a video about Stormbully entirely. If you found this video helpful or informative, give it a like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tell me about your persona or character, or why it's a character or persona, why your persona is a character, why your character's a character. And of course, subscribe and share with your other furry friendos. Anyways, I'll see yous all next time. Bye bye!